going on YouTube? This is Mason AJ.
This is Lance Scott.
And we just got done watching Arrow. And I gotta say, it was weak sauce. It was such weak sauce. Like, I'm like, okay, a lot of things happen in this episode, and I'm gonna be fair. Like, what we came from YouTube, maybe the episode is not so weak. It's just so weak compared to all the other lines of shows episodes that came out this week. And that,
I can definitely say out of all the shows that came out this week, this was the weakest show that are in my lineup of shows
which includes Supergirl, Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Flash, I was about to say Supergirl, iZombie, and everything else. But also be sure to check out all those other reviews, definitely. But focusing just completely on Arrow, first and foremost, everything leading about this episode, which is weak. And I'm going to say this right now, the big spoiler of the episode is finally we get to see Constantine in the episode. But it was a surprise a little bit because you saw Constantine in the flashback.
The way he was introduced was very good. I actually like the way he was introduced through the flashback, but the way at the end of the episode, homeboy just called him on the phone and instantly he shows up, and it's just like, it just felt like rushed. And it felt bad. It just felt like they wrote it or shot it bad. It was just...
I'm just going to say this. I'm glad that he was in the episode and they completed this, because I would as much as I would have expected it, I would have hated to have, hey, can you come get me? I was like, all right, sure. Then the episode ends, and I gotta wait till the whole next episode.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad he did come in and do what he had to do and come back. But at the same time, though, I feel like I don't want him in the show anymore. Like, and that it kind of hurts me because I know it kind of hurts me because I feel like he made the show weaker. And I see, I kind of like you made this point. I see why they canceled Constantine. Like, as a character, he was just weak.
For Constantine as an entire show, this is coming from a fan, like a huge fan of the Hellblazer comic book and the John Constantine character. Constantine as a show was a weak show, and a lot of people always said that you can't do Constantine as PG-13. A lot of the stuff he deals with is so hardcore. Yeah, if you tone him down, it's not going to work. But that's neither here nor there.
It's an HBO show for real. Like,
he toned down, like the entire wave of this episode was toned down. The action was toned down, the drama was toned down, and it's like
the acting was toned down. Like even Mr. Terrific, was just kind of like he still was himself, but everybody. I don't know if Constantine had this effect, but everybody in the show felt weak because of Constantine,
except for one person, one man stood against the odds, which was the one dick. Da da da.
I love how Gangsta Dig was like sitting in the thing with like he was like, I need your help doing it. You need to do it. My help do what? And what you need to do? What nigga?
But then he was just like, you've been working for David Dark this whole time. He was just like, Gangsta Padilla feels your struggle. He's just like, are you gonna help me or not? We're gonna work together. Gangsta Padilla will leave you this day.
Right. I mean, you're right, and I think it's because he was separate from even Sergeant Lance was awesome in this show, and I feel like them separating themselves from the whole Constantine thing is what kind of saved them in the show. But I feel like everything Constantine was a part of felt weaker. And it's almost like they've never worked with this actor before, and they just couldn't get it. It was awkward. It was like,
But you know what? Also, continuing off of the following episodes, we get to see Sarah. Obviously last episode she escaped, but she's roaming the streets. She's just murdering people.
Yeah. She's murdering everyone that happens to look like Thea.
But I go to front. Watching her was my favorite part of the show, and I say that because when she came down to murder people, they got. She was like, Thea stood no chance.
Thea was just getting thrown everywhere. Oh Lord, she was running and was scared and hiding. Like she just was sparring with Oliver on equal terms, and then she just got her.
No. Murder Sarah also beat the crap out of Oliver. She gave her the top of backhand.
Murder Sarah for the win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, you know what? They don't need to bring her back like her. So they just need to like put a white costume on her and just send her into the future. Just by herself, nobody else. Just
Legend of Tomorrow. You mean the Legend of Tomorrow named Sarah and then everybody else. Everybody else is actually there to keep everyone.
No, they just call it Murder Sarah Chronicles.
Wow.
When she don't talk, she just go.
You know what would be messed up was if in Legend of Tomorrow all the other characters are there literally to keep the bad guys from dying.
Right, because Murder Sarah's killing everybody. We need to question them. No!
So watching Murder Sarah was actually to me the highlight of the episode. The fight scenes with her were very, very brutal and intense, and I made you feel the intensity of the she brought to her. But his side question, which he's gonna get on before, but where did Sarah get her boots? I'm sorry, last time I checked, you were around.
No, I ain't getting on you about that. Where the hell she get clothes from? She was on zombie mode, and then she's putting on clothes. Wait, hold up, before I go crazy. Let me lacing them up. Let me put on my sweater because it's cold outside. And
I'm saying, okay, the corset and the pants she was buried in, and they put her in nicer period.
I get that.
So I accept that. But then also, like, the sweater she did grab at the beginning of the episode, but no one explained where those boots came from. I still want to know that. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Seeing Constantine, also another like weak moment of the show was like when Constantine escaped with Oliver in the past or whatever.
Right.
It was just like, I'll tell you magic spell, no handcuffs. Oh, I got a gun. And I'm looking like, what happened to the fact that we're in a military or semi-military?
Right, they should be soldiers everywhere, but he was able to walk out with a gun and turn his back to the dudes and went to the truck like ain't nothing happened. Like ain't nothing happened. Like, yeah, let's go. Oliver is like, ain't nobody gonna come out the tent and go, bah, get him in the back. Like,
I know this might have been outside of Arrow's budget. You know what makes sense? He set the spell. Right? Then you see how like a tornado or something comes down and attacks the camp, and it was like, what's that? And you see how Constantine punches the dude.
You did see people running crazy in the background, so maybe they shot it like that and it didn't work or something.
So no, that makes it worse because also people ran in the background weren't even the soldiers. They was like the
it was the regular people, but they was running frantic like. I was like, what are they running for? And I don't know. It was just this episode. It felt forced. It felt like they was like, oh shit, we gotta get this episode out. It ain't ready yet. Just put it. It didn't feel ready yet. It just felt like, it felt like a season 1 show or something.
It
didn't feel like it had no experience to it.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. Speaking of no experience, or speaking of either a no experience or new experience, Oliver is running for mayor. So hashtag Arrow for mayor.
That was good though.
That was actually good.
See, all the scenes without Constantine was good, and it breaks my heart because I actually wanted him to work for the whole show to kind of give him a job, like put him in Legends of Tomorrow, something, put him in something. But he's just bad. I hate to say it like that. I feel like it's just. I feel like
we're just ragging on the man, but that's the honest truth. Constantine as a show was very weak. This out of all the episodes of Arrow for this season at least, this felt very weak, and it was really like just your moments. There was one point in time where they're fighting inside like Sarah. For whatever reason, he's fighting this dude with one arm, like not Constantine. The other dude, like it wasn't like the other dude was missing an arm. He was just like,
right.
Oh no. Like that was it, like ding ding. I'm looking like, what? Why is like I don't know? It felt like you know what? I'm just gonna say it felt like everything about you was like a B budget,
Yeah, like a B budget movie or something. Yeah. Like it did. If you guys ever saw Tornado Sharknado. It felt like a Sharknado movie or something where it was just like, ding, and then I just feel like a shark shit just came out like, it was like, I feel like something like that happened. It was weird.
It was like the whole thing was weird. But also to be honest with you, besides Sarah coming back and Gangsta Bedigo, the only other thing this episode really had going for it was Mr. Terrific, and it was just the drop of. We already know he's Mr. Terrific. We already know he goes and be a superhero. In the DC comics, Mr. Terrific is like very like broad. Like, Mr. Terrific actually looks like Gangsta Bedigo. I'm honest with you. Especially with the whole like T thing on his face. But going with it though, like they established the fact that he's an Olympian, which a lot of people.
I like that they did that. They set up a good reason why he actually would be a good like superhero. You know?
No, but also it's one of those things where people sleep on what being an Olympian means. Just being an Olympian. Let's put this in the full perspective. If you go on the DC website, whatever, when you look at Batman's physical stuff, it says Olympic level. It doesn't say past that. It says Olympic level. So Batman, Nightwing, all the rest of the characters only really exist on an Olympic level. And Mr. Terrific, technically speaking,
human performance. Like they're not superheroes. Like,
right.
They're not. I feel like people should say that more often because I'm tired of these non-powered heroes to be looked at like they are on Superman's level. No, you're on peak human level. No, you can't shoot lasers.
It's not even that. I think just once again the idea of like what it means to be an Olympian like should really be like cemented. But like I said, seeing how
you don't look like an Olympian.
No, but for whatever reason, what does Olympian really look like?
I feel like I can keep that.
See. Just because he's an Olympian doesn't mean he can fight. It wasn't. They didn't say he was an Olympian in boxing.
That's true.
They just say he was a triathlon or whatever.
Anyway, the show was just weak. It just wasn't nothing really. Even like the end thing was like Ray's still alive. It felt we always knew he was alive. It felt weak. It felt the show like out of every other show out of Gotham have Enigma coming in and out of Supergirl. You know what I'm saying? Like find like I don't know. It was just awesome. Supergirl was just awesome.
Every other Flash with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., iZombie, Major League Players, all the other shows came hard after last week.
Right.
iZombie felt like, oh, we can't come in today, so let's call in sick. Hey, you know what?
Let's call Constantine.
Kid Constantine work for me today.
Right. That's what happened. I feel like Oliver was like, I don't know. Again, I don't want to hit on it too hard because I love Arrow, but they really did to me drop the ball.
If the producers of this Arrow show ever watch the show and everything else, I got one true fire way for you to win. You cannot lose with this strategy. You need to just forget everybody else and just literally have a show called Games of Predictions. Simple as that. Literally an entire show on Games of Predictions.
They'll destroy all the box offices, and that'll just be. But again, we don't need that. We don't need chaos in the world because that'll be too good. There are some things in life that are too good, and Games of Predictions show will be just too good.
Whatever. But you know what else? Comment down below. Let us know what you think about this episode. And like I said, we actually thought it was weak as.
If you guys did like it, put down there and tell us why you like it. I got to say this was a very flat 5 out of 10. I would even say 4. You know, and it was just I don't know. I think out of everything else that just kind of get me hype. This episode made me go like. Right, I feel like I'd rather do something else. Like if I had skipped this episode, I wouldn't be mad. Like, and that's hard for me to say. I love Arrow.
You especially love Arrow. Like, I'm okay with it. But like I said, it's one of those things where like you know how you miss an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like that. You're like, oh snap, I missed it.
Right.
Damn, I gotta go find it. Watch it. You know, like this is an episode you missed it. You're like, oh okay, so I'll just catch it next week and see what's happening. I'm just gonna say this. This might be very mean.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're dating a girl and you miss a phone call, but when you like that girl, you look like, oh no, I missed a phone call. Let me call you right back. You can go like, oh, so called. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Arrow was. You called, but I really didn't want to talk to you today. But anyway, my name is Lance Excalibur.
This is Mason AJ.
How did you guys later? You know what is good though?
What?
Once Upon a Time.
What?
Once Upon a Time is on point. Because you know.
The Dark One.
No, I'm gonna tell you though. You know, Swan is the Dark One.
The Dark One.
I know. It's so good right now. I ain't gonna lie. Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time is one of those shows when you're in it, and everything seems good.
It's great.
The second you take yourself out of it, you look like Peter Pan.
Man, no. Peter Pan was one of the best villains ever.
Peter Pan.
This is why he's so good hero.
Peter Pan would have caught a brick to the face and his name would have been Peter Day.
No, you actually saying stupid stuff.
What? How am I saying stupid stuff?
No. First off, no. Once Upon a Time is one of the best shows on TV right now.
Who in Once Upon a Time would not get beat by a brick to the face? Don't worry, I'll wait.